Pokemon Legends ZA just revealed the 3 starters that we're going to be seeing for this upcoming game. Tepig, Chikorita, and Totodile. A very strange mixture of starter Pokemon, obviously 2 of them being Johto, but there's a reason for this, and in this video, we're going to be talking about that. If you guys do enjoy this video, go to the like, subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Now, typically I don't upload Pokemon content on my channel, and I figured that I actually talk about this though because well, I made a post about it on Twitter and I got like over 10k likes. So, you know what? I feel obligated to talk about it now. Anyways, what is this theory of mine that I proposed? It all starts obviously with the casual fans. Every time that there is a Pokemon Presents, the general audience who realistically doesn't end up playing the games either way will go out on Twitter and complain about something. In this case, it was about the exclusion of Cyndaquil. Now, Cyndaquil is not in this game, I think, for a very obvious reason, that being it was already featured in Legends Arceus. And of course, on top of that, it got itself a new evolution with Hisuian Typhlosion, a really sick looking Mon. But that brings us to today. Why did Pokemon decide to go out and do 2 Johto starters and a Unova starter? Well, again, let's look back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus, the first in the Legends series of Pokemon games, had the starter trio of Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott. Again, a very unexpected starter combination at the time. This was during a time when people didn't really know what starters that we would get, if we would even get either any, or we would get completely new starters. But instead, Pokemon threw a curveball at us and gave us these 3. Now, Cyndaquil is from the Johto region, Gen 2, Rowlet from the Alola region, being Gen 7, and Oshawott is from the Unova region, that of course being Gen 5. Now let's look back at the Pokemon Legends ZA starters. What regions are each of them from? Well, of course, Chikorita is from the Johto region, Generation 2, Tepig is from Unova, Gen 5, and Totodile is also from Generation 2, Johto. So you look back at the Pokemon Legends Arceus starters and you look forward at the Legends ZA starters, you will start to notice some overlap. It seems that Pokemon actually wants to possibly round out all of these starters, giving them all forms of their own. That way they are all equally represented. And that brings us into the next Legends game. Whenever we get that in the far future, the starter trio we could realistically just deduce from here. That being Snivy, Poplio, and Litten. 2 Alola starters and 1 Unovan starter. Just the exact same as how we had it in Legends ZA. And Pokemon's always been about representing all of their generations when it comes to any new gimmicks or promotional stuff or anything of the sorts. Mega Evolution, for example, we got 1 Mega of every single generation. Like 1 Pokemon in every single generation at least got a Mega. Now, some generations, like Kanto, got more than others, but Unova got 1 Mega. To show, obviously, that they weren't going to not do anything from that region. Now, granted, that Mega was Audino, probably one of the worst choices imaginable for a Generation 5 Mega, but I digress. My point being, Pokemon likes to represent all of their generations and make sure they get the same amount of love. And I think the same holds true for here. I think that Pokemon just wants to cap off all of these starters that they did for Pokemon Legends Arceus and make sure that every single starter of that trio at least gets something with it, whether that be a new form or whatever, with the game that it's in. And I've seen a lot of people talk about Mega Evolution and saying that the 3 starters for ZA are going to get Mega Evolution instead of a form. And personally, I disagree with that, just considering if we follow Pokemon's general rule of, you know, keeping everything kind of bunched together and making sure everything gets its representation, I don't see this at all. Because this would assume, obviously, Chikorita and Totodile get Mega Evolutions, and Cyndaquil just doesn't, and then Emboar gets a Mega Evolution and the other 2 starters don't. So again, it kind of creates that really weird imbalance to where they would almost have to correct it. And I think that's what they're already trying to do with ZA, adding in Chikorita, adding in Totodile to finish off at least the Johto stuff before moving on to Unova, and then of course finishing it off with Alola. Now, something that does poke a little hole into this theory is the fact that Pokemon could have and probably should have just done if this is, this entire theory is true, the 257 theory, they should have just done 257. They should have just done a Pokemon from Generation 2, 5, and 7, just like they did in Legends Arceus. I think a better starter trio than what we have right now would have been maybe Snivy, Litten, and Totodile. Personally, I think that would have been a lot more appealing starter trio, and of course would have prevented the entire thing of people wondering where Cyndaquil is, and wondering why there's 2 Johto starters and all that stuff. But hey, listen, at the end of the day, we're not the Pokemon company. This is just a theory, and again, we're gonna have to wait until fall to see whatever, thing that we get. Now, to finish things off, like I said, I don't think these starters are going to be getting Mega Evolutions, nor do I think that their forms are going to be getting Mega Evolutions either. I think, that's another can of worms, because then you would have to give Mega Evolutions to all of the Hisui starters and all that. It's just a whole mess. Alright, so I think that the Kalos starters are finally going to be getting their Mega representation inside of the game. I think it has been way too long, and we have gone, again, way too long without Kalos Mega Evolutions, so I'm personally excited for that. But let me know your guys' thoughts about my theory down in the comments below. Do you guys think it has merit to it? Personally, I do, but I guess we'll see, obviously, by, well, whenever the next Legends game comes out, or by this fall. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know if it'll be another Pokemon video. If you guys like these, let me know. But yeah, see ya.